This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Tuesday, October 17th, 2023. I'm Alex Brown. The Evansville Rescue Mission will break ground this week on a new facility to support women and children in need. Executive Director Tracy Gorman told our partners at WEHT-TV the Susan H. Snyder Center for Women and Children will have a focus on programming to help those receiving services get back on track.
In Evansville, I think it's a fairly well-known fact that the population of the homeless is growing, and it has been steadily. And on any given night, there are over 200 homeless women and kids in this community, and we just felt like it was time for us to step up and bridge that gap and meet that need. And we're so excited that the community is behind us and we're able to do that.
The organization is nearly halfway to its $9 million goal for the project, which will include renovating an existing building and cover operational costs. South Carolina-based packaging company Sonico Products Company is shuttering one of its Indiana locations. In a notice to the state, the company said it will close the Sonico Tech facility in the Steuben County town of Fremont next June, affecting 53 employees. Fort Wayne Community Schools is extending its pre-kindergarten program. The state's second-largest school district announced last week that for the first time, all students living within the district's boundaries will have access to high-quality pre-K at a Fort Wayne elementary school. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Whether it's a new hire or a noteworthy promotion, IIB's Bigwigs and New Gigs serves as a platform to promote your team. Our revamped offering includes being featured on both the newly redesigned newsletter and at InsideIndianaBusiness.com. Subscribers to the Business News subscription save $10 off every listing. Plus, you can save $100 by bundling your submission to IIB with the Indianapolis Business Journal or the Indiana Lawyer. More at InsideIndianaBusiness.com.
What started as an Indiana district's proposal to retain teachers has led to allegations of unfair labor practices, public anger at school board members, and officials' decision to bar the teachers' union president from the classroom.
In May, Richmond schools announced one-time bonuses for teachers in an effort to staunch turnover rates of more than 25% in some buildings. All teachers in good standing would receive supplemental payments of $525. The district targeted additional money at mid-career teachers whose compensation hadn't increased in line with their experience. But the Richmond Education Association argued that the plan affected compensation, and thus would need to be discussed during the fall bargaining season that began September 15th per Indiana law. It filed an unfair labor practice complaint against the district. In the months that followed, the union said the district retaliated by disinviting its representatives from a back-to-school event before eventually placing president and longtime educator Kelly McDermott on leave and threatening to cancel her teaching contract. Union representatives also say teachers have been instructed to inform the superintendent if they want to speak to school board members. A state law enacted this year and sponsored by State Senator Jeff Ratz, a Richmond Republican, nixed a requirement for school districts to discuss changes to working conditions with union representatives at monthly meetings. Advocates say the change would reduce red tape. Observers say it has hurt teacher morale. Both the district and the union have said they want to keep classrooms staffed by experienced teachers, but they remain at an impasse on the best way to do so as bargaining officially begins. Kate Sharon, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Cultivate Food Rescue announced last week that it has reached a major milestone. The South Bend not-for-profit has rescued more than 5 million pounds of food since opening in 2016. Serving Elkhart, Marshall, and St. Joseph counties, Cultivate works with local grocery stores, restaurants, and other food retailers to collect and redistribute food that would otherwise go to waste. The organization has distributed more than 800,000 meals to area students, neighbors, and pantry patrons, and broke ground earlier this year on a new cold storage facility it says will allow it to rescue 19 times more perishable food than at its current facility. Valparaiso Community School teachers can expect another pay raise this year. Lakeshore Public Media's Michael Gallenberger reports.
The proposed teacher contract for the 2023-2024 school year raises the starting salary to $53,100, a $2,100 increase. Returning teachers would get a $2,800 raise plus a 1% referendum-funded retention stipend at the end of this semester. Superintendent Dr. Jim McCall says Valparaiso Community Schools would continue to have one of the highest starting salaries in the region and the state.
Just for context, in the past 3 years, we've now been able to provide almost $12,000 in base increases to veteran teachers, and we have increased beginning teacher salaries over $10,000 across the same amount of time.
McCall told the school board Friday that the district will be able to fund the raises thanks to the increase in funding from the Indiana General Assembly, as well as an increase in enrollment. The contract will be up for the board's approval on Thursday. For Lakeshore News, I'm Michael Gallenberger.
University of Southern Indiana President Ron Rochon is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.